Testing 1, 2, 3. Can you guys hear me? All right. I was wondering, honestly, if I would win against the alcohol. Looks like I did okay. All right, I appreciate you guys coming. So I'm going to begin. We only got 20 minutes. It's a very, very short amount of time. Let's do this. I got my timer all going. 5 steps to driving sustainable SharePoint and Office 365 adoption. Is this what you guys came to hear? Hopefully. All right. Appreciate you coming. My name is Asif Rahmani. I'm the CEO of Visual SP, also Microsoft MVP, and I appreciate all the folks who come to my sessions, and I really, really hope you get something out of it. So please let me know afterwards if you did or did not. If you didn't get anything out of it, don't fill out the evaluation. I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. Please fill out the evaluation. Be honest. Hopefully you give me some good marks because that's how they decide if we come back next year or not. All right, let's begin. 20 minutes is a very short time. You might ask, why not just one, Asif? Why do you have to go with 5 different things? 5 steps to driving sustainable SharePoint adoption and Office 365 adoption. Why not just one? I'm going to turn this question around to you, all right? I'm going to make you actually $1 million offer. And I mean it. You can tweet about this, you can record this, you can do whatever. If you do have one thing that can drive sustainable, not just short-term, but sustainable SharePoint Office 365 adoption, I will give you $1 million in cash. I am not joking. I will. I will find it. I don't have it in my bank. It's more like a couple thousand. But I will definitely find it, finance it, and get investment because you know what? I can turn that around and sell it to Microsoft, Salesforce, SAP. Everybody's dealing with the exact same issue. And I can get billions of dollars for it, so $1 million is nothing when it comes to that thing. I don't have the silver bullet for you. I wish I did. I'm sure all these big entities wish they did. I do not either. But instead of a silver bullet, I got a bunch of copper bullets for you. Okay, 5 of them all together. So we're going to talk about those. Now, this is me in a nutshell. Like I said, I love coming and presenting to these conferences. I love interacting with folks like yourself, learning from folks like you as well. So please come up to me afterwards. We'll have a talk. I'll be around for a while. I won't go into my whole history over here, but I've been doing this SharePoint thing for a long, long, long time. Maybe too long. All right. My conference sessions from this conference, other conferences, my recordings of the conference sessions, not just PowerPoint, but recordings, as well as any resource documents. I try to push everything out to this location. If you do go to this location, you'll find everything there. If it's not there now, it will be there tonight. Okay? So if you want, bit.ly, Asif Conference. Obviously, Ignite has my session presentations also. However, remember this thing, this is a 20-minute presentation, which is a very short amount of time. I'm already kind of late probably. There's a 75-minute presentation that I do on this topic, and that's located at this location if you want to get that long slide deck for what it's worth. So let's begin. User adoption does not have a begin and end date. I firmly believe that. You cannot look at this as a project. If you do look at it as a project, it's going to remain that one-time hit where you get that spike and then things will level off. It's more of a service. You offer this service to your employees, to your contractors, to everybody in the community where they do certain things to keep up the excitement, to do certain things where the adoption continues. And that's the whole reason for sustainability word in my presentation. You have to make it sustainable by doing things that work for people, that are something in it for them. Make sure, please, before you even start with these 5 steps, that you have executive support. It could be directors, VPs, true C-level executives, whatever, but you need someone to knock down those walls and be with you as a sponsor when you go forward with this. I could tell you stories, very, very specific, concrete stories of folks who were awesome at their job, and they had everybody below them on their team, but the executives never bought in, and that person left. I can think of one specific one, actually, who's a speaker here too, but I won't mention her name currently. I already said her, so she's a female. That's all I can tell you right now. But anyway, let's begin. So the first thing, you have to find and solve a critical problem. That's a must. There's a thing called WIA-FM. I refer to it as radio WIFM. Have you heard of that? Come on. I'm sure someone has heard of WIA-FM, right? What's in it for me? I'm sure you thought about this before you came to this presentation. What's in it for me? Why am I going to this guy's presentation over here? It's super important to answer that question. Tune in to the radio WIFM of your users before they tune you out. Very important, honestly. I feel that even the philanthropists, the people who are doing a lot of stuff for the world, even they are thinking of WIFM because it fulfills them. It helps them. It guides their mission. You have to tune into that, otherwise it doesn't work, in my opinion. You remember this site, right? It's still alive and well. Craigslist, right? How much adoption did this get when it first came out? Ridiculous amount, right? Amazing adoption. Does it look beautiful? Will it ever win any design awards? I don't think so, but it solved a critical problem. And because of that, the adoption rate has always been great. I have seen some amazing looking sites which do terrible in adoption. Then I've seen sites like this and intranets and stuff which are amazing in adoption because they're giving users exactly what they want, exactly what they need at the right time, at the right place. These are some real critical challenges from the field that I'm going to put up over here. Take it for what it's worth, but these are specific things that we have solved. For example, onboarding salespeople to get revenue in the door quickly. Revenue drives businesses, all right? And if you can make this an easier, faster process, boom, you have a lot of sponsors saying, yes, let's do it. Expense reimbursement. Do you have to fill out an expense reimbursement report when you go back? Chances are yes. Can you make it, instead of a 10-step process, a 5-step process? If yes, using something, there's your adoption. People want to get their money quickly, obviously. Providing one place for a person to see all of their assigned tasks. Oh my God, I cannot tell you how I have to go to this place and this place and this place to see all the different things that I have. This is just one of the things we solved. If you could do that, that would be great as well. Just some ideas. This one you might not have thought of. I had a very specific use case with a company, Sony Corporation actually. Have you heard of Sony? All right. They had this thing, which I won't go into too much because we don't have that much time, but they needed their workforce to be able to come into any place and to be able to print from that place and any location really quickly without having to know the IP address of the printer and all that stuff. So made that web part specifically available on the homepage of the intranet, and boom, people can just do one click, print whatever they want. And it drove adoption to their homepage. That was as simple as that. Simple works. I'm going to tell you a story as well over here. And actually for this story, let me see how much time I have. Oh my God, I am probably not going to. Actually, for this one, I cannot. I was going to draw it over here, but I have an extended platform here, so I can't. Let me just tell you verbally what happened. There was a secretary in Tennessee. We went there at this facility to actually do some evaluation and give them some specific guidance as to what they can do with the licenses that they had with SharePoint, Excel services. This is back in the day, to get their stuff be better, better adopted with their users. Some low-code, no-code solutions make things easier for them. We saw, okay, back to the secretary, we saw a secretary who was just sitting in one of the cubicles, and her main job for half the day was just to print out an Excel document with analytics and stuff like that, take the actual sheet, go over to the next building, give it to the executives, tell them, here's what happened, here's the reason for the analytics the way they are right now in this report, and just walk back. And that took half the day. That's it. So we're thinking, well, you have Excel services. All right, let's do that using Excel services. Let's use reporting services. Let's use alert notifications. We were just throwing out all these ideas, and it would have cost them next to nothing to make that happen. We went to the secretary, who was the first stakeholder. What did she say? Did she want to do it or no? What do you think? No, because obviously job security, and we understood she doesn't want to do it. Then we went to the executives and said, all right, very easy to do, couple of days for us to do it, no-code solution. Would you want to do it? What do you think the executives said? No, they said no. Why not? Like, what the heck? What do you mean? Why would you say no? It just cost you next to nothing to do it. The problem was that we had one thing that we did not know about. They said, listen, when she comes over, she's coming from a different building where the project managers are, where the engineers are, everybody else. She brings the news of everybody to us as well as to the morale of what's going on in that building. How are you going to replace that with your technology? We had no answer. We had no answer. So if we had built that thing, which we thought was a critical business pain point, nobody would have used it. So then we backed off. It just taught me a lesson that you have to really understand a critical pain point, not just any issue. So that was number one. Number two is identify and support champions and evangelists. I'm going a little bit faster because we don't have that much time. This number two, I'm sure you've heard of in many sessions before. Champions and having champions community really works until it doesn't work. You have to be also careful. I've seen lots of failed champion programs too. The key to this thing, in my opinion, well, first of all, why do you need champions? You need them because they can help you create sustainable excitement and drive your agenda to the users. They could really, really help. The main question comes, what's in it for them? Once again, with them for the champions. Why would they want to be a champion or evangelist or MVP or ninja, whatever you want to call them? Why? I'm here to tell you that money doesn't always motivate. Money rarely motivates sustainable excitement for these kind of things. Other things do motivate. For example, increased visibility to senior management, helping define and shape business and technology roadmap for what's going to happen. That really, really motivates. And also, bragging rights. I am the guy, I am the gal for this thing. I actually put this up because I actually brought these stickers for you guys. The SharePoint guy, the SharePoint gal badge of honor, because you go through a lot. I know you go through a lot. It's hard being a SharePoint guy or SharePoint gal. Take some with you for yourself, take some with you for your team, give it out, because these things really, really work. But you want to really, truly empower these people to make them the champions and drive, once again, your agenda and what you want to accomplish. You cannot do it alone. Number 3, focus on context, not only content. This is a big one, in my opinion. Access to content is not a challenge. I mean, we got too much content in too many places. Context is king. It's not content anymore, in my humble opinion. Having said that, I do have one best way to do knowledge transfer, to do content transfer. If you can do this following what I'm about to show you right now, you don't have to do any of these things I'm talking about. Open up users' heads, pour the information in, plug the head back on, and then you're done. This is coming with Office 365 2030. Until then, we still have an issue. This is not possible, so what do? The next best thing over here is to deliver just-in-time help. I truly believe that just-in-time help is very, very important. Contextual help, contextual training, just helping them when they need it at the moment of need. Providing visual cues, for example, and help in their environment. What do I mean by that? Have you seen these kind of things up here in your Office 365 and SharePoint environment? Okay. Many times they are helpful. Sometimes they're annoying. I get you, because it's annoyed me as well. But you have to use it properly if you make your own or if you use something like that, where it truly, truly helps the person, which I'll tell you something that helped me. It was not a splash screen, but something similar that helped me. Now, Microsoft is doing this a lot in all of their environments, all their applications. But it's not just Microsoft. I see this everywhere these days. Salesforce, Adobe, Citibank, all kinds of places over here where you have splash screens or inline help and stuff like that that's out there. All this stuff, honestly, has to do or similar to performance support, which this concept of performance support is not new. When I talk to people at Microsoft, there's still many people who are like, what is performance support? It's not something new. It's how do I help my users to get their job done? How do I help users to get their job done? Not how do I train users, but how do I help users to get their job done? Super important. An example, like I said, I was going to tell you an example. Example is how I created the slide deck. So, true story, this is how my slides used to look. Very, very black and white. And this is how they look right now. Okay? You know how this happened? One day I was making my slide deck in my PowerPoint in Office 365, and I put in an image in a slide, and out came this design idea. It's like, whoa, what is this? It said, hey, I know you have the slide over here. Would you like your slide to look like this or this and this and this? And all I had to do was click on one of these slides, and I got my beautiful slide. And guess what? I've never gone back after that. Right? Could I make this thing if I took 15, 20 minutes of concentration and actually made it to look like that? I think I can. I have the skills to do it. Would I spend 15, 20 minutes to make it look like that? Probably not, as evidenced by this, unfortunately. So it provided me just-in-time help, provided me a quick solution, and it worked for me. But it's got to be something that's not intrusive, it just works, just helps me. Similarly, when you provide governance, when you provide any kind of policy communication, providing it in context works much, much better than providing it somewhere else. I had a guy who told me once that, hey, Asif, we're having this really big issue where we have this company we pay thousands of dollars, make this governance document, and no one is looking at it. No one cares about governance. No one is following our policies. So you know what I asked the guy? I asked the guy, could you show me that governance document so at least I can give you some instruction and help or whatever on there? He's like, let me go find it. Like, come on. If you can't find it, if you don't know where it is, how are you expecting your users to find it? Don't make it complicated. Make it simple. Make it something that works. When they're there somewhere, show them information they need to see. For example, a customer of ours said that, you know what, whenever people are going to this specific HR document library, they cannot upload anything with social security numbers or with credit card information. Can you help us with that? So we actually did this over here for them, and the reason was it just pops up every time they go to this library, and they have to click on, I got it, I got it. Could be annoying, but they had this regulation that if we will get fined if we don't have them click on I agree. So very, very forceful in this nature, but sometimes it could just be, okay, the first time or whatever. But this is much better than email communication. Much better than email communication. You just get them the information they need, where they need it, not too much, just enough. Next thing over here, I have known many, many people who have hundreds of videos in a library or a wiki site or something else, but nobody watches them. Nobody goes there to actually see them. Why not, instead of having hundreds of videos or whatever, we just put in the information right there next to the actual content. Hero web part, you're looking at changing hero web part, there's a video on how to make the hero web part or how to change it, stuff like that. So you could do many of these kind of things which are very specific and contextually important to them, not what's important to you only. Moving forward, number 4, I can't believe the time is going so fast, peer-to-peer learning. I'm going to give you another story over here. Again, close to my heart. I live in Chicago. I don't think I mentioned that before. In Chicago, there was a company who hired me, and they said, we need you to do a similar class like this for 2 days, where you talk about lists and libraries and sharing and permission stuff, all kinds of stuff. So I said, sure, I'll do it. After 2 days were over, they said, could you sit in this corner office over here? We'll pay you for an extra day, and then just field any questions that come in. I said, sure, it'll be easy because I've already taught them everything. They should know everything, no problem. What do you think happened the third day? Oh my God, I had a line out the door of people asking, oh, can you show me how to do this? Can you show me how to do that? Because even though I trained them, I needed to help them on the how-to. All right, and that moment of need help was super, super important. The context is super important. Along the lines of that, I personally feel that regular traditional end user training does not work. I've even written an article on it, and some people agree, some people don't. It is what it is. Traditional training for end users does not work. You cannot make users do things they don't want to do unless you take extreme measures, which I would not suggest. So what works? Users want to be helped. They don't want to be trained. When my son comes to me, or when a user comes to me and they say, you know what, Dad, can you help me with this? They're using the word help. They're not saying, can you train me on this thing? I'm sure same thing for you as well. When people are coming to you, can you help me with this? Not can you train me? Because there's connotations of training. Training is more like I'm telling you what to do. I'm the expert and you are the pupil and I'm telling you what to do. That doesn't work as well for end users as to let me help you. Okay? So the words also make a big difference. Instead of training, you could do awareness sessions. Awareness sessions is where you are making them aware of this new initiative, how it applies to them, not just the what, but also the why. Why does it matter to them? Why does it matter to their role? What's in it for them? I have a quick thing about lunch and learn as well. Keys to success about running quick and easy and good, effective lunch and learn sessions. Of course, you want to have a regular cadence of that. That's easy. But you want to also be facilitator and not the actual trainer. And this is where the peer-to-peer thing comes in. You know, I talked about that training in Chicago that I did, right? So one of the ladies actually came to me and she had a very specific thing. She said, Asif, I have a bunch of these pictures that we took at a picnic. I want to take these pictures, put into a library or something that you talked about. Help me do that. So I showed her how to put into a picture library, and I showed her how to make thumbnails, and I showed her how to share it with her coworkers. This lady was not technical at all. And she learned it, and she loved it, and she was super excited. Guess what happened next? We had a sort of a lunch and learn kind of a session where she taught other people how to do it, or she shared. I shouldn't say taught. She shared how to do it. And everybody was super surprised, like, wow, this is great. If she can do it, I can do it. I know her technical level. I can do it as well. So that sharing really, really helps. It's not the training, it's the sharing. And obviously, yeah, sharing over here. Don't forget the pizza. Free food is super helpful as well in these kind of things. Somehow pizza has gotten cheaper and better over the years. I don't know how, but that's good for us. Last thing, incentivize desired behavior. So what does that mean? Now, I know this is difficult to do. Some companies actually still do it on certain initiatives, but holding an award ceremony or combining some kind of award appreciation with an event that's already happening. Why not do that, and why not award people? Why not recognize people? Because people do appreciate that. Doesn't matter if it's adults or kids, everybody appreciates the recognition. Trust me. On the actual categories of what you can recognize people on, I put some together just to get you started. And there's a lot more. Most participation in teams, Yammer, discussion boards, for example. Most active in document collaboration. All right? Most shares of content, or most helpful to colleagues, which is kind of subjective, but you could do that as well. All right. Trust me, some kind of appreciation, it doesn't have to be expensive, really, really helps. In fact, few simple gestures also help a lot. And I'm actually going to do that right now to prove it to you. You guys ready? Okay. Ed, can I have you come up over here? Ed is my buddy. He came to my SharePoint Fest session as well, and you came back again. And I thank you very much for that. And then you sat in the front row. I mean, you knew you might get picked on, but you still sat there. Could we give a round of applause to Ed? Thank you very much, Ed. Appreciate that. Chances are Ed will remember that. Okay? Simple gestures, simple things. I've seen that again and again and again in different companies. They remember this thing and they feel appreciated. They want to do more for you. Of course, you can always take the SharePoint guy, SharePoint gal stickers, also pass that out, and that helps as well. All right. It's hard to believe, but my time is almost done, so I'm going to wrap up over here. The 5 things: solve a critical problem, develop champions, evangelists, focus on context instead of just content, offer frequent peer-to-peer learning events, incentives, and awards. All these things are super helpful. If you have a 6th thing or 7th thing or 10th thing, I'm here. Would love to learn from you as well. I hope you got something out of it. Let me just wrap up saying, please fill out the evaluation. I hope you appreciated that. I would love to get that evaluation, and I'm sure Ignite would love to have that as well, so I can come back next year. You can download my presentations. Here's that link again. Learn about how Visual SP, our company, can help with end-user support if you would like, visualsp.com. Come pick up your SharePoint badge of honor for yourself and your colleagues, and connect with me online. I'd love to hear from you. Once again, thank you very much. Appreciate you coming. Thank you.